Good afternoon, good afternoon. I am SandGrain1 and this is episode 21 of the Sandpack series. Welcome to base C. It's a very small base here and it's all about B as always. I had to set up a small base here for wintry bees and I believe we are in a taiga. Indeed. Taiga. So I haven't been cultivating the bees here, but I have been able to breed up two glacial bees. So these are the glacius bees, but it's more or less unmodified. I think these are the default traits for the glacial strain. And this is their produce. And we are here in this base in order to pick up this actually. So this bee here, the queen here, has been hard at work. So we are here to pick up these. And the most important, actually both of these, both the comb and the ice shard is important. We're going to use them to produce a new type of liquid called crushed ice. So that's the goal for this episode, to create a system that can make crushed ice for us. Let's see how much of this I can pick with me here. That was empty. So yeah, crushed ice is created with ice shards and snowballs, and when you centrifuge these frozen combs, there's a 40% chance that they'll give you a snowball. So we need both of them, and in order to create crushed ice. Crushed ice is used in combustion engines as cooling instead of water, and it's 10 times better than water. And we're going to look at that as well, I guess. We'll see how much time we have, but let's return to base A, where we're going to construct the system. I have probably showed you this recipe before, the squeezer. And the squeezer is the machine that is going to create crushed ice for us. Requires tin, some glass and a sturdy casing in the middle. Pretty straightforward. It's actually a fairly cheap recipe. We're going to make it back here together with the fuel machine here, and I'm starting with the squeezer. Just place it here or something. Now the recipe for crushed ice is 4 ice shards and 1 snowball. You can see that the no recipe icon disappeared. In addition to that, I'm gonna just steal some capsules from here. In addition to that, I'm going to put the crushed ice on 2 capsules to create crushed ice capsules. So this is the recipe. Now I'm going to fill the rest of these slots here with stone bricks in order to fool the gates that I'm going to connect here. Should have everything I need here and then some. This is probably or hopefully too many pipes. So we're going to now, one thing you should notice is that the recipe requires 4 ice shards and 1 snowball. So we run into the same problem as we did when creating bog earth in the carpenter. And the cool thing here is that there's actually 3 resources here. It's also wax capsules, and it just happened to be so that this recipe here creates 4 buckets of crushed ice, which means that I'm going to need 4 wax capsules for each craft. So 4 ice shards, 4 wax capsules, and 1 snowball. Almost identical to the recipe for bog earth, with 4 sand, 4 dirt, and 1 mulch. So we're going to use the same principle here. I'm going to place a stone sandstone pipe. Going to have wood pipes, and the chest to contain to hold the resources. We will have iron archic gates on those 2. We can have one here as well, the extracting the filled capsules. And we can also place the exit or target chest. Actually, you can have 2 of them. We need a hopper, actually. I don't think I have one. Actually, I don't need stone there. I can use a normal. Or I don't need sandstone. I can use normal stone. I'm going to need a gold gate here, because that's so. Even though the pipe isn't really connecting here, this gate can still see this machine. So we're going to use the space in inventory on ice shards, then send a red pipe wire and the blue pipe wire will go up. Actually, that was that right? Yeah, I guess it was. Like so. Let's see. And if there is space for snowballs, then send a blue pipe signal. So red for ice shards and blue for snowballs. Now I want snowballs. No, I want ice shards to reach a hopper first, which is why I have it. Which is why I'm going to put ice shards here, and not snowballs, but wax capsules here, and snowballs at the top there. So now, if we do like this, for example, we can see that the blue light up because there is room for snowballs here. And similar, we can do like this to show that there is now room for ice shards. And when there is room for ice shards, there is also automatically room for wax capsules in the same amount. So we want to pump out ice shards and wax capsules at the same speed, while the snowballs here is disconnected on a separate signal. Let me grab a hopper here so we can continue the build. I found a hopper and placed it there on top of the squeezer, and I rotated the iron pipe here so that all items from these 3 sources now is sent into the hopper, and the hopper will then make sure that the squeezer is continuously refilled with the resources it needs. So I think there's only one thing. Well, there is this thing here, and if I use space in inventory, it is actually true. it wasn't true yes, it is. Let me demonstrate one thing here. It is of course true because these chests are empty. But now when only the squeezer is connected, you can see that it is false. There is no available space here, so it is false. So we can place chest around it, and this gate here will now be true until these chests are filled. And this will pump out and send filled capsules to these two chests. I'm also going to need power here, and I'm going to do it like this, I think. Now we can reach the engine from this side, like so. I need peat. I made some changes over here as well. Now, I must admit that I have stopped this. I usually stop it because I haven't really connected this to anything yet. You can see I gave it a floor, and I turned these chests around towards the center here instead of being here, and I added a system to create fertilizer. But this is not something that I'm too happy with, so it's going to be changed. But we were here for the peat. Yeah, I wasn't entirely happy with the floor either, actually, so I'm probably going to rebuild most of it, rearrange the floor, make different tiles. So now I have power there, and I can hook up between here, and this has worked. So the squeezer is now telling us that it has resources and it is ready to produce something. All it needs is energy. But apart from that, I think the system is done. Let's just turn it on. So this should now start running. Let's see. Oh, these, I don't think this is hooked up. Oops. I don't want snowballs to come in large quantities, so I'm limiting it. Oop, too late. But yeah, this is sort of the first push. And this was a push of items when the hopper was empty. And you can see here that ice shards is refilled first, then one snowball, and then the wax capsules. Just see how that goes when this craft is complete. Ice shards, snowball, and wax capsules. And that is why I want wax capsules to come in first here. Actually, that happened because wax capsules is the first to come, or first to arrive at the hopper here. And that is also why I have ice shards here to turn the supply of resources on and off. So this is done. It's complete. And I already have 16 of them. But that was the machine to create crushed ice. And I can now use these ice capsules in simple systems, like in my how I power the quarry over here. Now you can see that the quarry is currently out of commission because it's recently completed its work down here. But I've started to prepare a little bit for the next section. I'm going to cut out of or quarry this section here. But instead of a pump and this water pool, I will probably just give this combustion engine a stack of crushed ice, because that's going to be enough, I hope. I'm still going to use these gates as a security mechanism to avoid any explosions if a stack of crushed ice turns out to be too little, which could actually be the case. I'm not. Crushed ice is 10 times better than water for cooling, but one capsule of fuel lasts close to 3 hours. So 10 times better than water. It might actually still be far away from enough to keep the combustion engine cooled. But I'm going to try anyway. You can actually see here that the conductive pipe here exploded. It's gone here, and that was because the quarry finished its job and stopped asking for energy while the engine was still running. So the engine was continued to run when the quarry had stopped, and eventually the pipe exploded. Let's see what we can find in the other chests here. Lava. Large quantities of lava, almost 3,000, actually almost 3,500 buckets. And I have some more here, so I have almost 4,000 buckets actually. And I can make more with the help of phosphor here. I have a lot of phosphor, so each of these here is actually 1 bucket of lava. So I can produce a lot of lava still, and I have some. I don't have enough capsules for all of it, but that's a start. And I have some more here. So that's the plan, and yeah, create a system to produce lava. Construction complete. So all we need to do now is to set it up. So I'm going to need some phosphor. Actually, let's take a stack here, some sand, and refractory capsules. And the recipe for lava is 2 phosphor and 1 sand. And you can see that the recipe was approved, or yeah. So it's going to use 2 phosphor and 1 sand, and that is going to produce 2 buckets of lava. So 1 bucket for each phosphor. About. So let's just construct the rules here, or set up the rules. I need 1 sand, 1 phosphor. So yeah, let's see here. So for space in inventory on phosphor, actually, yeah, I need to fill these slots here with something. You can see that this is now true because there is space here, but if I do like that, it is turned off. So that's one way of doing it. So when there is room for phosphor and capsules will be fed into the squeezer at the same ratio, so 1 phosphor for each capsule, while the sand is on a separate signal, the blue signal. This is turned correctly. Let's see here. Let's just enable these. I might add a rule here, this rule, just so that it doesn't feed in too much sand or feed in sand too fast, but I'm going to test without it. And this rule was set, so now I just need to start it here. The squeezer has work, and if the squeezer has work, then start the engine. So let's see what's happening here now. I always forget something, so let's see how this goes. This was actually slower than expected. But speed is really not that important. This squeezer is still going to produce lava faster than I am able to use it. So the phosphor comes first and occupies the first slot, and then the capsules and the sand comes in after. So we should now have an equal amount of these two while the sand comes in. And the sand is actually on. Yeah, I'm going to slow it down. The primary reason is actually because of the arrangement here. The hopper will first fill the squeezer with phosphor, then with capsules, and then with sand. So the blue signal will stay on a little bit too long. So I need to make sure that there's only one sand here coming each time one sand is used. So I think this should work, and this should be stable. Yeah. And it's producing 2 at a time, 2 there, 6 there. So yeah, I think this, I stopped this actually, as you can see it stopped working. Mostly because I'm running out of snowballs actually. So I need to create a snowball factory. But yeah, crushed ice and lava. The lava is actually the most useful resource for me, because it can be used in geothermal generators to produce EU. But let's see how I intend on using the crushed ice here. So this is a test. I've set up the quarry here. Let me remove these torches. The sun is going down. Okay, so this is basically the same system as I always have used. There's a switch to turn the engines off, but security mechanism here that turns the engines off. Turn the engine on there, and the engine will turn off automatically if they heat up. But I have 2 fuel capsules, and I have 5 stacks almost of ice capsules. So that this test is how many ice capsules this system is going to use per fuel bucket, more or less. So let's start it and see how it's going to fare. So this has been running for a little while now, and let's see here. So it has used 4 ice capsules, and it hasn't even actually soon to be 5, and it hasn't even touched the fuel here. So it is going to drink all of this pretty fast. So I personally would wish that you could buff the ice capsule efficiency a little bit. Otherwise, it's really no use. I think that in most cases I will continue to use water because it's so simple anyway. just need to be careful and make sure that there is a chunk loader nearby. But it can be used in constructions like this instead of messing around with a water pool and stuff like that. This is actually one place where I believe that my energy production is outside chunk loading. I'm not certain, but yeah, I think that maybe the border is actually around here. Yeah, but I think that was it for this episode. So thanks for watching, and see you later. Bye bye.